YTPC, good morning. Ghost Cobb here on the side porch, and today I am smoking an Undercrown by Drew Estates. One of my favorites, getting down about halfway on this 6x54 stick. Wonderful cigar. If you have not had an Undercrown, get yourself one today, ladies and gentlemen. Get one today. It is fantastic cigar. It is definitely ramps up in body. Has some nicotine in her, but it is a great stick. Starts off with some pepper and some leather notes. It turns into a nice chocolatey. The pepper dies down a bit, and you get a lot of earthy tones out of it. Great cigar. Really like it. If you like the Connecticut's, try the Undercrown Shade. That was blended by Willie Herrera. It's got a lot of flavor to it as well for a Connecticut cigar. And they've just announced that they are coming out, that they came out with an Undercrown Sun-Grown. That's right, an Undercrown Sun-Grown. I love sun-grown tobaccos. That is the most flavorful tobacco you can get. I love the sun-growns. The Alec Bradley sun-grown is probably one of my favorites. I had one the other day, about a week ago at the Cigar Club, but I haven't had one since. But I do love sun-grown tobaccos. So today's video is about sports icons and how we look up to them and how they can affect our lives growing up. If anybody knows me, you know I'm a huge sports fan. Today I'm wearing a sprint car t-shirt by one of my friends who drives sprint cars. You know, you look up to guys like that, and when they retire or something like that, you look back at it and you're just like, wow. You know, I can't believe it was just like yesterday that individual started playing and now they're retiring. And they played for 14, 15 years. It's like, where did the time go? You know, and you kind of watch them grow from a rookie to a veteran to, most of the time, if they're your icon, they're your hero or whatever you want to call it, your role model. They go into the Hall of Fame in whatever sport they're in. So today, I'm going to talk about one of the guys that I've looked up to, and that is Mr. Davey Allison. If you guys have watched NASCAR, you know who Davey Allison is. What a fantastic guy. He was one of the first bad boys of NASCAR. I think that's why I liked him so much. You know, I remember when he came out, I watched him. I really started to like NASCAR, and it was something that they watched at the Firehouse every Sunday, so I kind of got into it. And a lot of them didn't like the number 28 car, and I think that kind of drew me to him, so I could be the villain in the room, you know. And he had no problems bumping you or pushing you out of the way to win, and that's what I loved about him. Because at the end of the day, you're all out there to do one thing, and that's to win. Now, you don't want to cause anybody harm, and he didn't either, but, you know, he wanted to win. And if it meant bumping you a little bit in the rear to get you to kind of panic, and then he could, you know, you could let off the gas and he could get down and get around you, then that's what he did. That was just Davey's style. And family man. And I always loved watching him and watching videos with him in it, because he always had one of his kids around him, or he was always signing autographs for kids. You know, when he walked by a group of people, if there was a child there, or a child in a wheelchair, or a person in a wheelchair, or, you know, anything like that, he would stop. And that was long before my, you know, my medical issues really took over my life. But, you know, he just, that influenced me. That was like, wow, you know, that's a guy who has not left it go to where, oh, I'm better, you know, everybody's here to see me and kind of strut around. He was not that guy. He was that kind Southern gentleman. And he just turned into a different person when he got behind the wheel of the car. And I remember the day he died, which is today. The anniversary is today of his death. He was leaving Talladega Speedway, my favorite racetrack in Alabama, because it's known for its craziness. And Talladega is one of those tracks, it doesn't matter where you start, because you could start 36th and win that race, because there could be a crash and it could take out the first 15 cars in one accident. I mean, it's just that, it's that quick at Talladega. He was leaving in a helicopter, and the helicopter crashed and he passed. That struck me really bad. Like, I watched a couple races afterwards, and when they did like tributes and stuff to him, I couldn't do it. I walked out of the room. It was just so hard to watch his kids, knowing his kids were going to now grow up without their dad, which I've done, and I felt for him. It really hit home with me, and I was just like, wow, you know, their dad was famous, and now he's gone. You know, now they're going to live without him, you know, and it just, all those people that he touched, you know, he had one of those philosophies that he would sign autographs for anybody, anywhere, because a couple minutes of stop to him meant a lifetime memory for that other person. And that's the kind of stuff that you want to be when you grow up. That's the kind of stuff that you want to do no matter what walk of life you're in, you know. And I tried to take that into my life. Growing up, I worked for Walmart, and I had a manager at one time from New York. Managers in Walmart move around a lot. And I was an hourly associate in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania store. And I had an assistant manager named Greg. I'll never forget him. And he was from New York. And he always did the, hey you, yeah you, come here. I got a name tag, it's right here. My name's like this big, this long. You can't read it? Really? Come on. Take a couple minutes and know your people. I mean, the store is big, but there's only like 100, 150 people working there. If you don't remember their name, you're close enough, look at their badge and use it. You know what I mean? So I vowed, with everything that I've learned from Davey Allison and, you know, through that experience, that if I were ever to become a manager, I would know everybody's name in that store, and I would know something personal about them. And let me tell you, folks, that makes a difference in people's lives, because you're making them feel like they're a part. You're making them feel like you truly, genuinely care, because you do. If you do that, you truly, genuinely care about them. And, you know, when an associate wanted to offer a baseball game or something for their child, I would always try to go back and say, hey, how did he make out? How did she make out? You know, did they win? Did they lose? How did they play? You know, if it was baseball, you know, did they hit the ball any? What they, you know, stuff like that. And it meant a lot to them. And I did that because people like that make an impact on you. And it doesn't matter what walk of life you do. If you were just a manager for a multi-billion-dollar company like I was, or if you were a CEO, or if you're somebody of importance in your own business or another business, when you come across genuine like that, it makes a difference in people's lives. And you don't have to have a lot of money and be famous to make a difference in people's lives. And I think Davey Allison kind of taught me that. Although he was very famous, that had a big effect on me. And I stopped watching NASCAR until probably about 40 years ago. I stopped watching it. And I got back into it because another guy came up with kind of his charisma and his arrogance, I guess, kind of. And his name's Kyle Busch. And Kyle, if you're watching, because I know you are, because all the NASCAR guys watch Ghost Cobb's YTPC channel. I love you, bro. You're a great guy. I love the videos you post and your wife Samantha posts of you with your son Braxton, and I love the interactions that you do with the fans. Stopping at red lights and yelling out your car because you see them wearing your hat or they got your flag flying from their truck or something. That means a lot, and it's things like that that make a difference in today's world. So, guys, no matter what you're doing today or tomorrow or next month or the next year, stop and say hi to somebody. Hold a door for somebody. If you see a vet or a police officer or an EMT or a doctor or something, stop them and thank them. If you see a child with autism or in a wheelchair or something, stop and interact with them. Not just will you find that you're going to bring joy into their life, but they're going to return that favor more than you've done for them. Believe me. My wife went and got a haircut, and there was a young man in a wheelchair, and I think it was cerebral palsy he had. His sister told me that he was with. And he was just sitting there in his wheelchair, messing around with his little computer screen that he had attached to his wheelchair. And I started to talk to him. And I normally just get up, after a couple minutes and go out and smoke a cigar or chew on a pipe, I ended up spending the whole time in there talking to that fella. And, man, I'll tell you what, after I left, I sat and I thought about it, and I was like, I know I brought him joy because his sister thanked me, and he was, super excited to interact with somebody, but he made me laugh. He brought joy to my life, and I think that he did more for me than I done for him. So, no matter what you're doing today or next week or next month, folks, that can make a difference. So, until we get together again here on the side porch, thank you so much for joining me again. We've done quite a few videos here, and I appreciate you coming along with the journey. Whether you were Padre Piper that was there from my first subscriber, to Smokey Mo and Crosby's Corner and Zombie Piper and Scotty P and Berg and Tennessee Bull and Jad's Pipes, all you guys that have joined me along the way, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I love all of you guys. You guys have made such an impact on my life. I hope and pray that I've returned it to you. It went out on me. So until we can get together and smoke that great cigar or pack that awesome pipe with some great tobacco, let all that you do be done out of love. Y'all take care and God bless.